passionate about innovation and entrepreneurship. He's founded 5 high-tech software companies in his career so far. An independent software developer, investor, advisor to numerous internet companies, former CTO of Products and Innovation of Deutsche Telekom. Please welcome on stage Thomas CURRAN.
Right. Good morning. Sorry we're so late, but I'm going to try to help you catch up on time here today. I want to talk about the potential of the Internet of Things for education. You'll see from my background, I've been involved in a lot of different startups and technology companies and media companies, but I think education is something that there's a danger that we all forget about the importance of education in many ways as a driver for our next generation and even this generation of adapting and implementing and using the Internet of Things. So I want to go through a few examples of that and discuss it. I'm involved in numerous projects, I'll mention them, that relate to Internet of Things and education. But again, the focus here is really how do we create a new generation of technology and the usability of the technology as it applies to learning things. And as many of you know, today's internet is a very good reference. Wikipedia is the best example, probably a reference that many school children and all of us use, but it's not really yet a format and let's call it a convenient place to learn things. And there are many reasons for that. Now, how will Internet of Things change that fundamentally? First of all, we have to do something around the availability of infrastructure in educational places. And again, today, many universities have great internets, but schools in general, in many economies, don't have a sufficient level of connectivity to support the type of internet technology that a lot of the companies can bring to bear on education. So this is a very big challenge for telecommunication companies and for infrastructure providers. And I think Google is really showing a lot, especially in the United States, how that can work. I think the Gates Foundation is also doing quite a lot in terms of developing infrastructure. There are numerous projects, but again, the importance of having infrastructure drives the second topic, which is developing Internet of Things. Internet of Things depends on having not only a good internet infrastructure, it depends on having a good communication infrastructure. What does that mean for schools? First of all, education depends to a large extent on security. In other words, a lot of, especially if we're talking about children, are not familiar with the conventions of today's internet, or they're familiar with the privacy conventions that are given to them. Probably that's a better way of putting it. And this will change as people are measured, which is analytics. The measurement of education needs to be closely coupled with security. Internet of Things can do a lot for that. It can create what I would call localized fields of security around schools. It can create specialized security for educational systems, and probably first and foremost, it, I think, will be closely coupled with the evolution of privacy in general and security in the internet. The second thing is, I think today, as many of you know, there's a very big industry around provisioning of educational content. This will change not only with crowdsourcing, in other words, teachers and students actually coming up with their own material, but it will also change with the learning of and the installation of Internet of Things devices. So for instance, if I want to understand this physical table or glass, these can be communicated in a physics lesson to students on their devices using Internet of Things sensors and bringing the physical world closer together with the educational process. Of course, giving you a reference about the density of the glass or the hardness of glass doesn't really teach you how to do it. And that's, I think, the very big difference between the reference interest in today's internet versus the application of Internet of Things to tomorrow's educational systems. Industry can do a lot for that. In other words, everything we wear, everything we buy will be, and it's already happening, there will be a lot more sensors, not only about what people prefer, but also what's in things, what are we eating, how is it. The whole idea, which is very big in Europe these days, is about the perishability of goods. And I think, again, this is something that industry can do a lot, not only to learn the contents of what we're consuming, what we're eating, what we're dealing with, but also how long is it valid. And this applies to everything from blood samples to yogurt. Today, this is a very big topic. Machine learning, so today we have robotics. I think some of you have seen some of the simple examples of Internet of Things where you have a robot that cleans your floor or a robot that mows the grass. And of course, you can collect a lot more information about this. But applied to learning, there are also robotics in works already today that look at the application of machine learning to learning itself. So how will certain types of material be presented differently, presented better to students in the future? And I think this is something that is going to make a big impact on education overall. We talked a little about analytics. It's very difficult to have a system, even using IoT and sensors that cannot be measured. So measurement is very important, not only in measurement of results, but the measurement of the, let's say, the quality and the volume of information that can be provided. And this is something that's also, I think, extremely important in getting establishing the whole infrastructure. Getting information from the environment is also something that Internet of Things brings. You heard this today. We have companies, speakers coming up, even a company that has soles in the shoes that can be given to students to see how far they work, how many calories they consume, all these type of things that are part of today's educational system, but we're not applying it yet to education. So in general, I think all of this needs to be systematically developed in concert with Internet of Things in systems that promote the process of learning. And I think this is where learning management systems will have a very big impact together with Internet of Things on the process itself of learning. When I say that, I think, again, reference material is one topic, one area of learning, but the learning process, if you want to solve a mathematical equation, is not always obvious to people as they try to learn mathematics. And this, combined with, again, the information we can get from our surroundings, is turning into I wouldn't call it a small revolution, but it's at least a very important trend in the Internet of Things. Thank you very much. I hope that all of you can consider this education as an important evolution in today's technology track. Thank you.